Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Simon and I did my post-graduation in pharmaceutical analysis, and currently I'm working as a senior research scientist in one of the German multinational company. And today we are going to discuss the ICH, the basics of ICH. So without wasting further time, let's get started. So these are the contents of my presentation. So first we'll be discussing the background of ICH. That means how it developed, what was the reason behind the development of ICH, or in short, how is the pre-era of development of ICH. Followed by we'll discuss the origin and the objective of ICH. Then we're going to discuss the ICH members and the status of India as an ICH member. Then they will discuss the ICH guideline, ICH followed by ICH expert working group and the steps of guideline development. And finally, I'll give you a live demo of it, a live example of it. So for the simplicity of the understanding, I am going to make a two part of this video. So in the first part, I'm going to cover up to the ICH guidelines, and in the part 2, I'll be covering the ICH expert working groups and the steps for guideline development along with the live example of it. So let's start. So it actually all started with the drug safety incidents. So, before the development of ICH, the rules and regulation concerning the drug development, they were not that stringent. So, there is one famous incident that you can see on the screen, that is the thalidomide incident. I guess we all have probably heard about this, but even if you didn't heard about this, don't worry, I'm going to explain in a brief. So it was around 90s 50s 60s, okay, when the drug got approved and came into the market, probably in 90s 50. And this was a drug which was used for to treat the morning sickness in pregnant women. So and it got very popular in the beginning. But what happened that in at around 1960s, there is babies started to born with abnormalities, and it was found out that across the world there was around 10,000 babies they got uh, born with this abnormality, and half of them got died within month. And it was like an eye-opening thing for the entire industry, because drug mishappening at such a level nobody has seen at that point of time. And it's not like that thalidomide was the only incident that happened during that time, because many other incidents also happened. Because if you see on the screen, in 1937 there was mishappening of elixir sulfonamide. Then in 90s 50 there is a mishappening of chloramphenicol. In 90s 50 along isoniazid, followed by ethyl stilbestrol, that happened between 1950s to 1970s. So it is not that the thalidomide was the only incident that happened, but the number of babies died by the thalidomide incident, it was huge. And it was an eye-opening incident for the entire pharmaceutical industry. And after that, what happened that the regulatory agencies across the regions, for example, Europe, USA, they started making rules and regulation more and more stringent. And the bad part about is that the rules and regulation, they started to vary from one country to another. As a result, what happened that um, for the pharmaceutical company, it becomes very much difficult to develop new medicine and to market that one, because when the rules and regulation they started to change from country to country, it is difficult to market your drug, because in that case you have to comply with the different countries rules and regulation. To sort out that problem, in 1980, it was EC, European Commission from Europe, this taken the decision that they will harmonize the technical requirement, at least for the European countries. Okay, so it was the European Commission from Europe first who had thought about this harmonization concept. Then you can see in 1990, um, uh, FDA from the US and the MHLW or PMDA from Japan, they joined together with the EC of Europe, and these three regulatory bodies together they form the ICH, and this is how it got developed, the ICH. So now if we talk about the objective, there are main four objective of this format, and we'll understand in a very simple language, okay, so that you'll never forget. So the first objective was that to standardize the technical requirement for the development and the registration and maintenance of new medicine for human use. So that means to standardize the technical requirement. So ICH makes sure that whoever is involved in the development and registration of new medicine is following the same set of technical rules. For example, if there is one pharmaceutical company in Europe developing one medicine, and there is another pharmaceutical company in USA developing another medicine, they have to follow the same set of rules and regulation and technical requirement. So it cannot change from region to region. Also, if there is a very big company and if there is a very small company, they also have to follow the same rule. The rules won't be changed for the big company, so it has to be harmonized. So that is the first objective, to standardize the technical requirement. Now coming to the second, to promote the mutual acceptance of data among regulatory authorities. That means if the technical requirements are same, that means if there is one regulatory agency of some country, they have accepted your drug product, automatically other regulatory agency of one of the region, they will be accepting because they are following the same set of technical rule. So it becomes very much easier for the pharmaceutical company to market their drugs because the technical rule is same and there is a mutual acceptance of the regulatory data. Okay. So third is reduce, obviously. So if there is a harmonization in the technical requirement and mutual acceptance of data among different region, obviously the cost is going to get reduced and the time for development will get reduced. And obviously the fourth point, it will facilitate the global marketing of new drug. So that was the main for reason for developing the ICH. Okay. Now understand what are the members of this ICH. So as you can see on the screen, uh, founding regulatory members are three that I have mentioned. One is EC from Europe, FD from United States, and MHLW PMDA from Japan. Now, one thing to note that it is not the countries that are the members of the ICH, it is the regulatory agencies of that countries that are the members of ICH. So please don't confuse that. Okay, it is the regulatory agencies of that particular country. For example, EC from Europe, FD from United States, and MHLW and PMDA from Japan. And the remaining things you can see on the screen, for example, Brazil, Mexico, Egypt, Singapore, UK, China, Saudi Arab, Turkey. These are the members and regulatory agencies. They have joined along the way with the ICH. So as of now, there are 21 members. So now you might be wondering, where is India? So let me tell you, there are other members who are observers. Okay, so India is one of the ICH observers. So right now there are two standing observer and 36 observer. Now you might be wondering, what is the difference between then a member and a ICH observer? Now let me tell you, there is a huge differences if you are a member and an observer. So the main differences in between the member and an observer is the level of involvement in the ICH activity and also the level of right and obligation. For example, the ICH member regulatory agencies, they will be having more depth right, more deep rights and obligation, more level of involvement in the ICH activities rather than the ICH observers. Okay, for example, um, representation on an ICH assembly. So whenever there is a very important discussion or assembly is going on, only the members are allowed. The observers are not allowed unless they are invited by one of the ICH member. Similarly, participation in the expert working groups. So what is expert working group? Expert working groups is nothing but the group of technical experts, okay, of various field. For example, of they might be from industry, they might be from academia, they might be from regulatory bodies. So they are a group of technical experts who take decision about the development of new ICH guidelines, if there is any amendment needed in the guidelines, so they are the one who is going to take the decision. So only the technical experts from the Ice Age member regulatory agencies are allowed for this. From the Ice Age observers, they are not allowed unless they're invited by a Ice Age member. Similarly, the Ice Age observer, they do not have any voting right. Ice Age observer do not have any right to submit proposal for new guideline. Okay, so there is a huge differences between if you are the Ice Age observer and Ice Age member. So coming to India, as of now, India is basically an Ice Age observer. In although there was one announcement which was made by the DGCI of India, Drug Controller General of India, in 2020, that India is going to soon become a ICH member, but as of shooting this video, there is no update on that. Okay. So coming to the ICH guidelines, or in short, the summary of ICH. Now this is very important slide for this, because ICH is having around 72 technical guidelines, and it is divided into four major category: safety, quality, efficacy, and multidisciplinary. So for the safety, there is 16 important guidelines. For quality, there will be 25 guidelines. For efficacy, there is 22 guidelines, and for the multidisciplinary, there are 9 guidelines. In this channel, I'm going to cover most of the quality guideline in my upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that, and please do subscribe to this channel if you are already uh, uh, seeing me up to this time. I hope you are liking this video. So along with this, there are other products also. For example, ICES have electronic standards for the transfer of regulatory information, that is ESTRI, and also the CTD and eCTD. And this is nothing but a dossier. So if I have to explain in a brief, a dossier is nothing but a book where everything regarding the particular drug product will be given. For example, it's clinical, it's non-clinical data, clinical data, formulation data, analytical data, batch manufacturing record, scale up record, everything is combined into a dossier. So I'm going to cover in detail in my upcoming video about this dossier. Okay. And finally, one of the fantastic product of ICH, that is the MEDRA. So MEDRA is nothing but a system by which the adverse drug effects, they are reported in a coded way, so that the data do not loss, and there is no duplication of data. Okay, so this is MEDRA. So these are the main ICH products. So in the first video of so let me give you a little bit example of MEDRA so that it will be more understandable for you. For example, I am having a headache. Okay, I can also tell you that I am having migraine. So see, one person is reporting as a headache, another person is reporting it as a migraine. So it is bit confusing for that. For the same symptoms, reporting terminologies are different. So to avoid that one, it can be anything. For example, if I am having a vomiting feeling, I can say it I am having nausea, or I am having a feeling of puking. So for the same symptom, there will be multiple way it can be reported. So the translation can lose a lot of data. So to avoid that one, the MEDRA came into the existence in around 2000, and it was developed by ICH again. So it what it do, it's convert that common symptoms into a coded language, and that is getting reported. So there is no loss of data, and there is no loss of over reporting of symptoms. So in very simple language, this is MEDRA. Okay. So this is all about the part 1. In the part 2 of this video, I'll be covering the um, uh, what are the technical experts, and the how basically ICH guideline is basically developed, and followed by a live example. And so now my humble request to you, that if you like the video till now, please like and subscribe to this channel, because it is a new channel and I really do need your support for this. And so let's see you on the next video part 2. Thank you.